Hi, this is Gene at DNS Bait. This report is current as of Saturday the 7th here. I did have some guys come in with some nice numbers of perch, actually a few limits of perch this morning. There's not many guys out there, so it's not like a whole bunch of guys came in with limits, but there were a few guys came in with limits of perch, and they were still fishing on the weed lines out here on the lake, over off Governor's Island and down by the city shoreline, down by James Madison, down by the Edgewater, down towards Lincoln's, or the James Madison Park. All those weed lines down there have been producing some bluegills and quite a few perch yet. You got to kind of bump around a little bit, stay close to the weeds, fish down tight to the bottom for the perch, up a little higher for the bluegills, but the catch knives, they've been doing pretty good. A couple guys have been coming in this last couple of weeks, and they've been doing pretty good trolling for white bass, if you're into that. They've been trolling some smaller crankbaits out in 20, 30 feet of water, even 40 feet of water. And they've been fishing anywhere from out in the middle of Warner Bay, out off Governor's Island or Maple Bluff. They've been making trolling paths across from Governor's Island over towards the Four Doors and then heading down towards Fox Bluff, and they've been getting white bass scattered all along through there. Smallmouth bass have been somewhat active on the weed lines, tight to the weed edges. I haven't heard, they haven't talked to anybody who's been out on the bars, but I can't believe that there aren't some fish out on the bars yet too, especially weed-related fish, and maybe dropping off into the rocks a little bit. Over on Lake Monona, bluegill action has been pretty good. A lot of places they've been catching them. There's a couple of guys I've been talking to that have been doing real well drifting out over deep water. And there's not a lot of guys fishing those fish, but there seem to be a lot of fish out there. Like north of the rock pile, out in the 40, 50, 55 feet of water, fishing 12, 15 feet down, sometimes 20 feet down. Some nice-sized bluegills. Again, there's a lot of little ones, but they're getting some real nice fish. And then there's guys still picking up some perch on the weed edges over there on Lake Monona, the rock pile, Turville, Olin, Hudson Park. All those areas had the potential for producing some perch on the weed edge, and a few bluegills on those weed edges, and then back out off the weeds in about 16, 18 feet of water, 20 feet of water even. There'll be bluegills anywhere from right on the bottom to 4 or 5 feet off the bottom. And then again, don't forget those suspended fish out over deep water. I haven't really heard a lot of muskie action this past week. The water's warmed up again, so some of those serious anglers have slowed down on that muskie action. So I haven't heard too much. Bass fishermen said the bass fishing's been a little tough over there. They've been catching some largemouth out on the deeper weed edges, and it seems to be a little tougher from what I've heard. Some of the guys have been struggling a little bit, although I know there's always somebody catching bass someplace. Lake Waubesa, a lot of crappies suspended out over deeper water. They're fishing out in front of Rockford Heights, out in front of the beach house, and up towards Hog Island. There's a lot of crappies suspended out there in 15, 18 to 20, 22, 24 feet of water. There's some bluegills mixed in with them. There's also some bluegills on some of the weed edges on some of the bars, like over by Christie's and north of Christie's, and up by the Green Lantern too. I've heard some bluegills up in there. I heard there's quite a few guys fishing in the weeds from the Green Lantern up towards the railroad trestle too. I haven't really heard from them, but I just hear there's quite a few guys up there. And I have heard some bluegills down on Lake Kegonsa, some nicer sized fish. I don't really have any specifics for you, but I did get a couple of reports this week that there's some nice bluegills down that way. That's about all I got for right now. You can call us at the store if you need any more information. It's 608-241-4225. Or if you're on the road and want to call a fishing report, you can call Big Fish. That's 608-244-3474. That spells Big Fish. Talk to you later. Thanks, guys.